Welcome back to the Parker's Podcast. I'm Rose Parker, and this is Francel. And shout out to our buddy Christian Young with the Lab Podcast Studio.
What's up, everybody?
You said that you wanted to bring up something about Seth recently.
Oh man,
because he started working.
It's crazy when your youngest is like pursuing an actual career type move and kind of puts perspective on everything. You know how fast time has gone. You know he's 17. He's about to be 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And last week we were going through the closet and I seen this picture of Le'Veon and Seth when they were little. I'm like, gosh, dang, where'd these dudes go? Like, I miss those guys. I don't know who these gargantuans are that are, you know, raiding the refrigerator or coming to the house to do laundry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's funny because I remember that picture that you pulled out. They were like 1 and 2. Actually, it was before we moved here, so yeah, Seth hadn't even turned 1 yet.
Right.
And in their little boat scene at the house, or you know, in the photo place or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. And what was really funny about that particular day, remember Seth was so sick. We didn't know it at first when we took him. He went the whole day. Everything was good. I thought you were. You weren't there when I took him?
I was already in Florida.
No, when we took him to get the pictures done.
I wasn't there.
Well, he was super sick. Who
took those photos? Did Allison take those photos?
No, it was at the mall in Ohio.
Oh, I thought we knew somebody that was a photographer.
Mm-mm. And as we were getting done with the pictures, we did all the little props and, you know, all the stuff you do with little kids. And just at the very end, he just starts violently vomiting everywhere and end up having to take him to the hospital. And that's when we found out he had RSV.
But it was funny because, like, he was a trooper through the photo shoot. You couldn't tell. Happy, smiling, everything. Yep.
And then at the end. But, you know, he was always the one, you know.
He was the sickly one.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he's always been funny about his pictures, though.
100%.
We have the pictures.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, the pictures hanging up in Grandma's sitting room.
Oh, yeah.
There's, Grandma took us all, I think, or maybe your mom took us all to get pictures done. And I wasn't even supposed to be in the pictures. It was all the grandkids, and Calissa was there and got all the kids doing these pictures. And Seth just would not take those pictures. No. I had to physically hold him in order to get him to take the picture. Yep. So luckily I at least wore a decent sweater.
Yeah, right.
Because I had to be in it. But yeah, it's crazy. He's turning 18 and
Cuttlebug, man. Even at 6'3", 250-something pounds, he's a monster of a kid, but still a snugglebug. Super
I think he's
sensitive.
Like 235. I think you just definitely added some weight to him.
Dude is broader than I am.
I know, he's a big guy.
He's a big dude. And still sensitive. I love him to death because, like, anybody that knows Seth knows that he has a huge heart. And he is truly the definition of a Sour Patch Kid because, like, he loves hard. But when he's over it, he's over it. Mm-hmm. But does extremely well with little kids and people way older than him. And handsome fella. Hey, ladies, stay away from him. You know, I'll reiterate that point. We're not looking for any girlfriends. Mm-hmm. But I just want him to grow into who he is and who God wants him to be. And shout out to Seth. I love your heart, bro. I really do.
Recently, he told us that he wants to be not an engineer, a general contractor. Yeah. And so he's, you know, done air conditioning work with us. Mm-hmm. He's worked doing like carpentry stuff and with Mr. Lee at church. And now he's working, remember all the...
Yeah, and George. He's going to work with George.
Oh, yeah, worked with Mr. Haggerty. Yeah, so, and now he's doing painting with Jerry and... he just loves it. He loves being in every facet of construction, which is kind of surprising. I didn't take him for like the hands-on work stuff. I figured he'd be more of a sitting behind a desk doing the easiest job that he could do.
Well, I mean, it's funny because like when he was little, he always found a way to get out of work. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, he would randomly disappear and everyone would have to stop doing what they were doing to go try to find this kid. Like, where is he at? There he was. sleep in his room. Like, yo, no, you need to wake up.
You remember the one time he was lost sleeping in his closet?
No. Listen, you are in Ohio. I'm home by myself. And I woke up and I'm like, all right, man, we're going to go get the boys. We're going to go fishing. We're going to have a great day. We're going to go do something. And I walk in their room. The dogs at the time weren't there. The boys weren't there. And I'm like, nobody is in the house. I go outside. I'm calling for them. I walk down the street. I walk around the block. I call you. I'm like, yo, the kids are gone. The kids are gone. And I'm yelling. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. And then I go in their room. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, Lord, where are my kids at? And where are the dogs at? And then I hear a shuffle in the closet. And it's like.
I wish you had a picture of that.
Oh, my. Like. I couldn't even, I looked in there and I'm like, okay, there's one of the dogs. Where are the kids? The other dog is laying on one of the kids' head and they're all buried in their clothes. And I'm like, how are y'all sleeping like this?
Mm-hmm. All curled up in the closet, just sleeping on the floor in there.
It was a nest. Mm-hmm. Like, what did the Crudes call it? A sleep?
Like a pile.
Sleep
pile or something like that.
I'm like, gosh, dang. And, but the relief I felt once I found them was, man, I'm like, yo, y'all can't go missing on Dad's watch. I give Dad's a bad rep everywhere if that happened. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just all the different things. I always thought that he would be more of an insurance agent because where Le'Veon was super crazy, Seth was like, Le'Veon, you shouldn't do that because if you miss it by this percentage here, you're going to get hurt really bad. And that's why I'm not doing it because it has a high probability of us getting hurt. And Le'Veon was like, bro, I'm not listening to you.
Well, at that point, Le'Veon's already gone and fallen and gotten hurt and done whatever he was going to go do.
Yeah, Seth,
crazy kid.
Seth analyzed everything. He's still hyper analytical. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, every step or every move is highly calculated.
It is. It is.
Not sure where he gets that from, but
Yo, what's really funny is our business coach was in town and we took a disc profile and it was really interesting like how accurate it is when it depicts you. Like I'm a high I, like I like to engage people, but I'm also a high D, which means like I'm a driver. But that means like as a D personality, I'm like, yo, let's just do it. Let's get it done. I'll fire from the hip. Where you are more of a high C personality that's more like, well, let's check it and verify and check and verify. All right, ready, aim, fire. Nope, ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim. And I'm like, man, fire the thing already. Let's go. Let's get moving.
But that's where mistakes are made.
Sometimes that's where genius comes in.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, yeah, because listen, always trust your gut instinct first. That's how you get good grades on tests. The first answer is always the right answer.
Okay, maybe in test taking. But making moves for, business-related things aren't always the best when it's not a well-thought-through process. When it's just like, hey, yeah, let's just go do this right now. And then
somebody said something. What did they say? They said... opportunity. Oh, Jeff at church said opportunity is only good for the life of the opportunity. So many times you can miss opportunities if you're ready, aim, and then the opportunity is gone. Sometimes you got to be like, I'm doing it and do it. I understand there is a balance, but
I feel like I'm pretty well balanced when it comes to making decisions like that.
Yes.
Because I want it to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Perfection is overrated.
I at least want there to be a positive outcome.
Oh, hey, man, listen. What do they say? 60% of the time, every time?
No, I'm shooting for like 90. Like a 90. I want yeah, no. 60% is still a D.
All that I'm stating is like, yo.
It might be done, but, I don't want it halfway done.
I'm not saying that. I shoot for excellence in everything that I do. But what I am stating is, like, I'm not the type of person that can sit there and have a 3-month-long conversation about when we're going to do something or how we're going to do something. I'm more like, okay, if you want 2 weeks, I'll give you 2 weeks. Fine. But
I don't think I've ever taken 3 months for anything.
I'm using it as an example. I'm not quoting you verbatim. Mm-hmm. But I am under the impression like, yo, the longer we sit and talk about it, the less time things are actually getting done.
Yeah.
I'm all about getting it done. Let's do it. We used to say this all the time when we were kids, when we were about to fight. Hey, don't talk about it, be about it. You say you're going to punch me in the face, do it. Do it. What you waiting on? Do it. I bet you don't. You ain't. And then a lot of times people would be like, what? And then they wouldn't even do it. All right, that's what I thought.
Just the way that you said that just made me think of the potato when I was pregnant.
You really want to bring up your violent past?
I'm just saying.
How you assaulted me? How you like
with a potato.
No, not. And you pulled a knife on me. It
was an unserrated butter knife.
It was serrated. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as an unserrated butter knife.
I can show you one.
All butter knives got teeth on them.
No.
Like, and this is the part that trips me out, man. Like, the medical industry, like, y'all give women passes on some stuff. Like, postpartum depression, I get. Okay, fine. But men's lives matter too. You talk about like I went to work one day.
Gosh. I can't believe you just said that.
I'm riding to work and I don't even know what the argument was over. And all of the sudden, my wife is so angry that she feels the need to end the baby's life, her life, my life. And I'm like, yo, pause.
All I have to ask you.
She snatched the steering wheel and tried to drive us off a cliff. And I'm like, I got to go to work. What you doing?
But did you die?
Thank you, Jesus, that I have good reflexes and that I kept us on the road. I was late to work and I go into work and I talk to my boss. I forget her name. And I'm like, I'm shook. I'm like, you would not believe what it took for me to get here right now. I don't care. You late. I'm like, my wife just tried to drive us off a cliff. She was like, oh, it's postpartum depression. You'll get over it. I
was still pregnant.
I'm like.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was still pregnant.
No, you had just had him. You had just had dude.
Oh, that wasn't. Oh.
And I'm like, what do you mean I'll be fine? She literally just almost drove us off a cliff. It's all right. If she would have killed you, she wouldn't have went to jail anyway. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, gosh, dog.
That had nothing to do with the potato.
That has everything to do with sometimes you psycho.
I'm pretty sure everybody has psycho in them somewhere.
I don't. I always love Jesus.
I can't even right now. I just can't even. No.
Yo, man, I'm telling you, how you expect to be sane when your chemistry changes every month, man? Like, and y'all say us dudes are all over the place. Nah, we pretty regular. You feed us, you rub our belly, we loyal to a fault.
That doesn't mean you're not psycho.
Yeah, it does.
No.
That would be the definition of consistent.
No.
You rub my belly, you feed me. I'm not psycho. I got everything.
You could also say consistency is going to bed at night, waking up and eating the next day, going to work. There's still room for psycho in there.
No, I'm just saying it's not the same. Mm-hmm. When you look at throughout history, right? A lot of conflicts from a historical standpoint were due over women. Yeah. Dang. I could preach on this right now. Like, Jesus, you knew what you was doing when you made woman.
If you think about it, though, if we're going to bring Jesus into this, mm-hmm. You remember he created the man.
First.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, if it was perfect, why did he have to create that woman?
Because he didn't.
He knew he needed someone to keep that man who's psycho in line.
You crazy? Why would that ain't even a fact?
You brought Jesus into this.
Listen. He said he didn't want man to be lonely, and he created him a helpmate. A helpmate.
You're right.
You are supposed to help the man.
Keep him on a consistent, non-psychotic path.
You crazy, man. Listen, the only way a man would go psychotic is if he had to spend his whole life talking to animals that wasn't really talking back to him. Don't try to sit there and say God had to make woman because man was psycho. Shoot. That's crazy.
Well, there's always a difference between a man and a woman.
Yes, very much so. Mm-hmm. Everyone screams equality. You can't be equal.
I'm not screaming equality.
No, I didn't say. I listen to. See, here we go.
No, see, there's a difference.
Listen to what I said.
No, you're right. Everyone does scream equality.
However, be equal.
I am not. I've never been that one. I understand that there is a place for a man and a place for a woman.
Yes.
And I just know that in certain situations, in like our case, the woman was meant to use her brains, and you were just meant to use your hands.
Pause. Name one female.
I said our scenario.
Like, I am highly intelligent and highly capable, okay?
You're right. You've learned every great way to use your hands.
No. I have made phenomenal decisions that have placed us in the position that we are in without using my hands.
You've had to use your hands.
All that I'm... Man, you be set... Like, this is why I have to pray, like, Lord, you have to renew my mind daily, because sometimes the alley-oops that are tossed should not be dunked.
I'm referencing work and work-related.
Like, I'm trying to behave here and just, I can't right now. Anyways, it takes a balance. I don't dispute that. But what I am saying is a lot of times men's intellect is overlooked with their ability to use their hands and to create and grind, and that gets looked down upon as just being a brute, when it's like, yo, the reason I'm grinding and the reason I'm using my hands is because right now in this season, this is what it takes to make sure that you have food to nourish your intellectual mind. Because if I'm not grinding or using my hands, you're not going to eat. And that's how guys look at it. Okay, this is not what I want to do. This is not the job I want to have. But it doesn't matter because I have responsibilities. Mm-hmm. And my responsibility supersedes how I feel.
Okay.
That's it. That's the reality of it. Hey, any real man out there understands. Okay. Yeah, like, we don't search for fulfillment outside of a lot of times just making sure that our family is provided for. Whatever that looks like, that's our end goal. Mm-hmm. Like, people say, yo, what are you passionate? Are you passionate about air conditioning? No, I'm not passionate about air conditioning. I'm passionate about providing for my family. I do appreciate the lifestyle that air conditioning affords us to have, but I'm not passionate about it, you know? And that's the difference. I think in this day and age, everyone gets caught up in their feelings and how they feel when your feelings don't matter. Society,
in no way, shape, or form was I saying that you were not intellectual.
Oh, I'm just making it clear that your feelings don't matter. Feelings don't matter. No one cares about how you feel. They only care about what you produce.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, usually it's a man producing with his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm producing with my mind.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. I don't go out in the field and work.
Technically, I don't anymore either.
But I mean, you had to in order to get to where we are now.
Yes, because had I not,
and you still do.
The opportunity, had I not had that, the opportunity never would have came.
Okay, well, it is what it is.
For you to use your intellectual mind once again, it's like,
oh my God.
Yo, you keep downplaying that uses of hands.
I'm not.
But, pause. Time out. Like, I am an air conditioning doctor. Like, I have to go out and use my intellect to diagnose. People think, oh, it's just an air conditioner. Like, no, it's really sophisticated. You have to use a procedure and a process to do diagnostics. The schooling that I had to go through, like, I couldn't pass that with just my hands.
No, I get it.
Yes. Accounting I had to know.
I feel like you went way too far into that rabbit hole.
Oh, well,
it was meant to be more of a superficial thing.
Hey, listen, I don't know. There was no cliff notes on what you were trying to achieve out of that statement.
I know none of this is scripted. That's why.
Oh, that's true. But I will say this, like, you have to look at life the same way you look at the Bible. God doesn't ask for you to analyze your feelings. He asks for obedience. Mm-hmm. And so, like, when people sit there and say, oh, well, I don't feel like doing this. Well, I never really feel like going to work. I really feel like just hanging out with you most times. Like, legit. I do. I'm
No, we have enough hanging out. We
don't hang out. We work together.
We work together. We live together. All the chores are like everything is done together.
Yeah.
I enjoy my trips to Ohio.
I'm gonna do something unconventional right now, just because I think it's necessary, and Christian might have an issue with this, but I am content being like this all day, every day. It don't matter.
Listen,
it don't
Seth
matter.
is going to see this, and Seth is going to freak out.
I'm going to look straight at the camera. You see what I'm doing? You see? This is what I'm doing right now. But I'm fine being like this all day, every day. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. That's just what it is for me. Mm-hmm. I don't care. We don't really hang out.
That cracks up Seth every time. Or not cracks him up. It makes us laugh, but I
don't understand why he gets so upset. Like, yo, if I wasn't touching your mom, you wouldn't be here. It's true. Like, bro, what? Like, you need to get over it. The fact that I love your mom and I still want to be affectionate to your mom is a good thing.
Yeah.
So, but yo, we have to be obedient to what the Bible says, despite how we feel. Just like we have to go to work every day to provide for our families, despite how we feel.
I feel like we've ingrained that in the kids pretty good. I mean, they have
really strong work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's one thing that everyone has always complimented them on is their work ethic.
But I mean, why are feelings like? Let's just dive on feelings really quick, because for me, I can't wrap my head around being moved by how I feel versus what needs to be done. I don't understand how people can operate based on their feelings and not production.
Well, that's kind of what sets different people apart. I mean, there's some people that if there's not some people that can be leaders and some people that are followers, there's no I don't even know how you want me to explain.
Well, I mean, because think about it. How do you become successful at work if you don't feel like going to work, so you don't go? How do you become successful in your education if you don't feel like going to school and you don't go? Like, you're being led by your feelings, and your feelings aren't producing the outcome that you actually want.
It's unfortunate, but there's some people that just don't. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you like are owning a business or working in a business. If you've got the work ethic or the unction to get up every morning to go provide for your family or whatever you're going to do.
Despite how you feel?
Yeah, it's no different. But then you have some people that just literally don't work or don't have a job or don't function in society, or, and unfortunately for them, that's just, I don't even know. That's not something that's learned. I feel like that's just something that.
You don't think that's a learned behavior? Like, if I didn't watch my dad get up and go to work every single day except for when he was hurt, I know sometimes he didn't feel like going to work. You could just see it, that he wanted to hang out with us, that he wanted to be home, but he had to go to work. Mm-hmm. And despite what he wanted to do, he had to do what he knew he had to do.
I don't know, because you see families that, you have multiple siblings that grow up in a household, have a well provided for family, and the siblings go different routes. Yeah,
so, it's hard for me to like comprehend that and to understand how that takes place. But at the same time, I guess that's the same way like when you look at different aspects of Christianity, how like some people can believe bits and pieces of the Bible and not the whole thing. And for me, it's like, yo, how do you like section off certain things that are in the same book that you profess to believe in or that you read?
Well, the Bible's controversial anyways, because you have to think, because there's different denominations and different types of, Christianity, it's different people getting their viewpoints based on their inspiration,
right,
or whatever. So,
and the only reason why I bring it up in this way is because like when you look at the Constitution, you have so many people that are looking at the Constitution for so many different interpretations. And it's like, in order for us to get back at and I say us as a society, as America, as people of this country, there has to be some fundamental truth somewhere. The Bible, the Constitution, something has to be at a point to where, hey, this is what we're going to stand on. This is what we're going to be about. And if people can't like find truth in the Bible, dang, that sucks. you should be able to find truth in the Bible. If you can't find truth in the Constitution, dang, like, how are you here? How are you operating inside of this society? That's the hard part. It's like, you can't amend everything. At some point, there has to be something that is true and something that is false.
Well, unfortunately, the world is not always just black and white. There, government, politicians, different people in life has blurred the line, and now there's a gray aspect.
I guess, but I mean, I think that's why they wrote the Constitution the way they did, to protect the American people from politicians muddying the water.
But it's still muddied every day when they create the amendments. So
that's the point that I'm making. It's like, stop making amendments and just abide by what is there, and everything will work itself out.
You would think that, but unfortunately,
we in our lifetime, in your lifetime, name one president that you voted for that you were like, yo, that's legit my guy.
There's never. You are always picking the person that has the lesser of two evils.
Well, I mean, I think that's my point. Why do we always have to pick a president that's the lesser of two evils? Why is our system at a point to where there's only two large parties that funnel their interests into the limelight?
I mean, I do think that's an unfair advantage where you have to pick Republican or Democrat. I mean, there should be an option for independents, because truly I feel like I identify as a independent, not necessarily. I mean, I lean more Republican, unfortunately, for any other purpose, but it's mostly based on like the biblical principles that I lean that way.
Yeah.
I don't always vote all Republican, though, because it depends on the person. There are some Democrats that don't believe in, abortions and stuff like that, and they vocalize that. So I would lean more that way, but it's no different. There's some Republicans that do. So unfortunately, you're just always picking the lesser of two evils.
Yep. And that's why, like, when we run our business and we operate our business, we try our best to take care of the community, because I'm a firm believer that we depend on the government too much, that we should be able to self-govern to an extent, that we should be able to take care of each other as American people and not always have our hand out to the federal government. Let the federal government stay in its lane, do what it does. Let the state government do what it's supposed to do. And us as citizens take care of each other. If we all had that mindset to take care of each other, then I think it would force state and federal governments to reevaluate their standpoints and the overreach, because we wouldn't be that dependent on them.
That goes back to what you were saying before about the people, how some people don't have that, either the work ethic or the fact of wanting to take care of themselves. Some people literally just want to live off of whoever. So I don't know, unless you fix everybody, get everyone to a baseline. I mean, our government has so much socialistic aspects, like, the welfare system and all that kind of stuff, that if we went to a country that didn't have that kind of thing, it's like you do or die, basically, in those countries. So unless they eliminate all that, I don't see how there's really ever going to be a place for change.
Well, I think the biggest aspect of that is the accountability aspect. If you're on welfare, you should be accountable to something outside of just collecting a check. You should actually have to work or do something to earn that. It shouldn't just be given to you. Social Security. Yeah, if you got asthma, okay, asthma shouldn't qualify you for Social Security. A lot of people have
You mean
asthma.
For disability, not necessarily for...
Sure, because I know people that have Social Security based on them having asthma.
You're talking about Social Security disability.
Okay, sure. Yes.
Because, after a retirement age, you also collect Social Security.
Yeah.
So you need to differentiate.
Okay. Now, I do believe that we should take care of the widow. I do believe that we should take care of orphans. I do believe that we should take care of the elderly. Mm-hmm. But if you are of sound mind and of working age and capability, like, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a job. I mean, if there are people with Down syndrome that are working at Walmart, there's no reason why you shouldn't be working somewhere doing something.
Yeah.
There's too much work right now that needs to be done that there's no excuse. And it's just, the only reason why I bring this up is because, like, these are strong stances that we have as business owners, and a strong reason why we strive to take care of the community, and why we need other people to get involved in having the same viewpoint and understanding, like, we don't need to get rich off of one person. We can build wealth and be successful while taking care of our community and being a light to our community. And it comes from these core values of work ethic, honesty, integrity, understanding the Constitution, understanding that I need to take care of my fellow man as well.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously we agree.
Yeah, of course we agree.
That's how this whole thing works so oiled, works so well like a well-oiled part in a truck or something, you know.
I think the expression you look for is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, that's yeah, I forgot that thing, but whatever.
But yeah.
So. All right, well, I guess that's it for this episode, and we'll catch you next week on the Parker's Podcast.
Peace.